Hello, everyone, and welcome to this LinkedIn Live event. I'm just checking to make sure that we are indeed going live properly. It seems like we had a couple of hiccups. If everyone could please send us a comment and let us know where you are streaming from today.
I think we are all live.
Okay, good. All right, so if you can mute yourself, I hear an echo. All right, so thank you, Snezhi. Welcome, Snezhi. Welcome to this live event. I'm delighted to do it with you today. We are in for a treat. We are going to thank you, everyone. And I see you're streaming from, you are dialing in from Portugal, Chicago. This is amazing. So today we are going to explore tips and tricks to generate leads on LinkedIn. So without further ado, let's start our event, right? We are all here to discuss this amazing platform, which is LinkedIn. So before anything, I jumped in on my slide for a minute. Right, so what are we going to do today? We are going to start with why LinkedIn is so important in your lead generation process. Then we are going to look at your brand on LinkedIn, right? We are a human being, we are not AI agent, we speak to people, and then because of that, we really need to work on our brand. So we'll spend a few minutes looking at how to improve our brand on LinkedIn before looking at tips and tricks that Snezhi and I use every day when we are generating leads on LinkedIn, right? So let's jump right in. Why am I doing this talk with Snezhi today? I've been on LinkedIn since the very early days. I am a professional marketer. My social selling on LinkedIn is in the top 1% of my industry, which is pretty good, and we'll discuss that later on. I'm HubSpot and Marketer certified, and I'm a consultant, which means that every day I deal with clients which are struggling to generate leads, and my job is to help them do exactly that. What about you, Snezhi? Do you want to talk about yourself and what you do for Nytro?
Yes, thank you so much, Stan. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for the invitation. My name is Snezhi, and I'm a strategic consultant. I work in the marketing industry. It's been already more than 15 years that I've been working with various clients, bigger and smaller, all over the world, to advise them on how to build a strong marketing strategy, plan, and how to execute in order to generate results. And trust me, it's not easy, and it's actually not getting easier throughout the years to generate leads or brand awareness. But that's why we're here today, to share some experience and to share some knowledge with all of you.
Thank you, Snezhi. And by all means, this is a very interactive session. We are live. You have the ability to ask questions, to comment. So I want to know why you joined today and what you are trying to get out of this session. Snezhi, we were discussing that early on. B2B selling is in trouble, right? The biggest and most impactful statistics I've got on this slide is that only 5% of the buyer journey is spent with a salesperson, which means that all of us who are in marketing and sales, we have actually a very little time frame to speak with the client, and that comes at the end of the sales process, meaning that 95% of their journey is on their own, looking at the web, looking at LinkedIn, educating themselves about the product that they are looking for. And that's where marketing comes into play, marketing and sales. But it happens in the background before you have a chance to speak with your prospect. So this has been impacting B2B for a couple of years now, and it's even more present today. Email are still a good way to interact with your prospect, but open rates are declining. And as we said, buyers are leading the sales process. So it's definitely not us, marketer and salesperson, who are leading. It is the client, right? It has been true for a few years, but the more the technologies, AI, the search possibilities evolve, the more it becomes true for what we are trying to do. So Snezhi, when we were talking about that, you had an experience to share here.
Yes, what I wanted to share as well is that it's not a straightforward journey, right? For when we talk about the buying process, and the moment the customer starts researching information and until the moment they decide and they do the purchase. I recently had an experience with a client, and we were analyzing their demand generation process, and we were looking into one of their latest deals and what were the different interactions that the client did throughout the whole buyer journey. And first of all, it was a long process. Of course, it depends on the industry and the product. Here we talk about B2B only, and it was a cybersecurity company. But it took more than 6 months. And throughout these 6 months, the customer had, I think, about more than 50 interactions, different types of interactions with the company, from going to the website to downloading ebooks to joining webinars or meeting at events, etc. So, and it was like going up and down in different directions, not necessarily the way that we see it or that we want to see it. So it's a tough and long process, and it's changing a lot. It's very dynamic, but we are here as marketeers to basically support this process.
Yeah, and I wonder, how did your client react to that? Were they ready for this kind of interaction, or was it totally mind-blowing to them?
They were creating a lot of content, and they knew that the process is not straightforward, but they were shocked by the number of interactions because the volume is.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. So why LinkedIn? Why is LinkedIn so important? I think if we are here, we are streaming live on LinkedIn, and we all know that LinkedIn is the place to go for marketers, right? But just a couple of facts, interesting facts. Can you imagine that there are 1 billion people and 57 millions of companies that are presented across the globe on LinkedIn? And one of the interesting words here is across the globe, because LinkedIn, which started as a US-centric platform, social media platform, is now absolutely global. Look at those numbers. I know that in, let's say, maybe 10, 15 years ago, German had their own platform, for example. I'm European, I'm French, and I know that a lot of people were not actually present on LinkedIn. This is changing. And Snezhi, you're in Bulgaria, right? What's your experience?
My experience is that in Europe, the consumption and the use of LinkedIn has grown a lot. And even though it was initially probably more popular in the US, now it's global. Everybody in the B2B industry is using LinkedIn. There were a few countries which were lagging behind a little bit, like maybe Germany and Switzerland, but we see now that they're picking up as well. So we live really in a truly global world. So that's also reflected in the platform here.
Yeah, absolutely. So LinkedIn is global, and LinkedIn is the place where we can find our leads. What's interesting is that for 75% of B2B buyers are present on LinkedIn, and they are looking at social media when they are making their decision. their purchase decision. This is statistics from IDC. And I think this is striking, right? And this is exactly what we want. We provide content, we generate content, we organize events on LinkedIn, and those are seen by the right person. So that's already good news. The second good news is that our prospects are looking for quality content. This is obvious. They are not going to look for bad content. But again, this content, this thought leadership content, is very influential when people are making buying decision. And the content that you can provide, the advice that you will give on LinkedIn has to be genuine, right? People trust thought leadership content much more than they would trust any kind of marketing that you put out there about your product sheet or stuff like that. They are looking for insights into the pain that they are facing. This comes across as being obvious, but we too often forget about it. Marketers and salesperson who are successful are the ones who know their audience, right? So it's really look like sales 101 persona, but we often tend to forget about those notions of really understanding your market audience, your target audience, understanding their pain, understanding what they are going through in their day-to-day experience in their job and what they need to perform their job. So rather than being self-centered and looking at how product and how can I talk about my product, marketers have to learn to understand what their client want, what they need, and where else could they do that than on a platform like LinkedIn, where you can have true human interaction. So we have seen that LinkedIn is the place to be. We've seen that, amazingly enough, people are actually welcoming the content that we can provide on LinkedIn. Now, how do we go about first providing the right content, being present on LinkedIn, and then generating leads, which we are going to see in a minute? Well, it starts with your brand on LinkedIn. And I'm just going to give you a few tips which may be obvious for a lot of you, but you know your LinkedIn profile? On top of it, you've got a banner. And guess what? Many people are not using it. This banner, think of it as a billboard on a highway. Why would you have a white billboard? Well, a lot of people do. This is an example. This profile has no picture and is not making use of this area there. So this is like free advertising for you, your profile, what you do. And I strongly recommend you make use of that. Mine might not be perfect, but I've tried to provide a few keywords about what I do and how I help people. Any experience with that, Snezhi? What about your clients? Do you think they are making good use of their profile? And
I have my observations show that there are two type of profiles basically. One is the one who is, and this is probably about 80% of the people have this type of profile. They are basically a profile targeted to look for a job, right? It's targeted to recruiters. It shows your expertise, your experience, your recommendations in a way that you could be a valuable asset for any company. And there is the other profile, which is very, let's say, more rarely seen, which is the thought leaders profile, which is about why or how you help your clients and why people should reach out to you, and sharing valuable content and having your summary in a way that you show what value you provide. And I would strongly recommend to, when you are looking into your profile and trying to enhance it, to basically go in the second direction. Build your profile as a thought leader rather as a good potential employee of a company, because we're talking here about generating leads and selling. And you need to establish a profile of a thought leader to do that.
Absolutely. And I like what you say when you say, thought leader and building your own brand. People want to interact with you for what you can give them, provide them the kind of advice you can provide to them, right? They are not looking at you as a salesperson or represented from a company. They are really looking at you as a human being and as a knowledgeable person. And this is how we need to come across on LinkedIn. So what does a good profile look like? Well, it starts with a good headline, which is more than a job title, right? It's really about how you help and who you help in general. So again, it's all about giving advice, giving thought leadership content to your community. A picture, a photo is important. People want to see who you are, right? What kind of vibe you come across with. Contact info. I mean, this is obvious, right? But how many times did I click on a link that didn't work, or an email address from the person's previous job? So we don't often think of it. It is a little bit buried within the profile, but make sure you have the right contact info. A LinkedIn URL. So many people don't even think of that. You can personalize your LinkedIn URL. So think of that. Connection. You need to work on your connection all the time, right? Are you connecting with the right people at the right level for the kind of service that you provide, right? If I don't know, if you are in procurement and everybody in your network is a designer, it doesn't really make sense, right? So you need to connect with the right person. The summary is obviously important, have the right keyword. People want to, in a blurb, they want to understand who you are and what you offer. And activities and articles, the more content you provide, the better it will be. And this is going to become very obvious when you start to look at your SSI, which is your social selling index. Let me display this for you. You can just go to this website and check out what your score is. Beside being sort of an ego booster, this is my score, which is pretty high. It really informs you about what you need to do to be more visible on LinkedIn and more trusted on LinkedIn. And it's pretty much everything we talked about, but it boils down to making the right connection with the right people and interacting with relevant content, right? If you post things on LinkedIn that nobody care about, that nobody read, nobody interact with, nobody like, nobody share, your score is not going to be very, very high. So this index is really an encouragement to providing the right level of content and engaging as a human being, once again, on LinkedIn. Do you have any comment on that, Snezhi?
Yes, I find that very useful, the social selling index, because it is something which helps you identify the areas where you can improve, right? Whether it is about the content you share or the connections you make, or your professional, personal brand. And also in time, you can track how that progresses, whether you're doing the right thing to make sure that it's effective. All your efforts on LinkedIn are effective. So it's a good tool to check where you are and where you want to be and track the status on that.
Thank you. All right. So now this is why you came today. You came to learn how to generate leads on LinkedIn. We started by telling you why LinkedIn was so important for B2B business, what has changed within the B2B industry in the way people research product that they are looking for. We looked at how to make the most of your LinkedIn profile. Now let's look at generating leads on LinkedIn. And I've been saying that a lot, right? It has to be genuine. It has to be human interaction. And the way you can do that is by making the right connection. One tool that I recommend, which is an AI-generated tool, but which still provides you an opportunity to stay human and genuine, is this Icebreaker AI, which a friend of mine, Ole, has developed. You can look at it, you can search for it on the Google Marketplace. It's a little plugin that you will add to your browser. And when you visit a profile of a person you want to connect with the AI, Icebreaker AI will suggest a prompt. And then you've got all the leisure to make it yours, to customize it a little bit, to bring some humanity into it. So to bring the genuine human interaction aspect within the process. But that tool will facilitate your reaching out to more person and to grow your network. So, right, it starts generating leads on LinkedIn, start with the network. So that's step number one. Search with filters. We often forget that even with the free version of LinkedIn, you have a lot of filters available that you can use to search for people with job title. So you can look at their country. You can obviously go and search for people outside of your network, within a specific industry, with a profile in a certain language. And doing the search will help you just narrow down to the kind of people you want to target. So you don't have to pay anything. You have access to those filter, and you can go there. Using filters, you will find people. You may find people which are pretty influential. This post is about new job, and look at that. They've got hundreds of like. Guess what? Let's be smart about it. If someone is in your sweet spot, chances are that people commenting and liking on a post will be also in a sweet spot, which is exactly the case here, where we're looking for people in the manufacturing procurement industry. We've identified just from this like a lot of people who have the right title. So again, you can reach out and you can add them to your network and ask for a connection. Moving on, events. Do you know that events like this one is an excellent source for leads and contact? You can do exactly what I'm doing today with Snezhi, which is organizing your own event, but you can also look at other events. This event has an amazing number of attendees. And guess what? If you click attend, you will have access to the list of attendees. You will see every single person among those thousands of people who are attending the event. So I've done just that. And then using the filters I was talking about, I narrowed them down to just a list of 800 contacts, which seem to be more relevant to what I'm looking for. In events, you've got a lot of people who are selling, you've got a lot of consultants, you've got a lot of people who are piggybacking on your event, just like we've got today. So someone is trying to sell services using the event that we just organized. And this is fair game, right? So you know you are going to get those kind of people in an event, but you will also get very interesting leads. So event is the right place to do that. Now, obviously, you can do it manually and you can reach out to those 800 people manually. It may take you some time, or you can use tools in order to download the list of people and download their email address. So I'm going to give you.
Sorry, Stan. Usually the concern with LinkedIn is that people are using their personal emails, right? And
exactly. And then even if you have access, even if you are on a first degree connection with the person, you have access to their detail. And as you said, the probability that you end up with a Gmail address or a generic email address is big. I mean, that doesn't mean that you cannot reach out to the person. Right? You can still use their email address and send them a professional address. However, if you use a tool like Apollo, and what's amazing is that even the free version of Apollo will let you do that, you can download a list of contacts and enrich it with their professional email address. So this is what I've done here. I went to Apollo and I created a free account. Once you've done that, you have access to their Apollo plugin, which add this little add-on tool on top of your LinkedIn search. And you can select all the contacts on the page and add them to a list. So I created a list in Apollo called procurement, and I started to download those guys to my free Apollo account. And from then on, I was able to even create an email campaign, a sequence in the free version. I'm really insisting on that, on the free version of Apollo. And some of you are here today because I identified your profile using this methodology, and I sent you an email for free on Apollo. So you have a lot of tools. Some of them cost a fortune. But remember that even using free tools, you can do a lot. Obviously, if you have a paid version from Apollo, which is not super expensive, you can do more. Right? You can enrich existing database, you can send more emails, etc. Obviously, the paid version is worth it, but even with the free version, it's incredible what you can do. Another way to generate leads on LinkedIn is to use scrapping tools like Phantom Buster. So in this example, you see a result of 100 profile that I extracted from a LinkedIn search. So you do a search like we did earlier on, you end up with a list of contacts, and then you can use Phantom Buster, and I'm going to give you the URL of this tool in a minute. Phantom Buster will help you extract the profile. You end up with just their LinkedIn profile, so then you need to use a tool like Apollo if you want to enrich it with email, or you can continue within Phantom Buster and reach out on LinkedIn, sending them connection message and stuff like that. So that is a very valuable tool in order to establish connection. And Phantom Buster is incredible. You've got what they call Phantom for many tools outside of LinkedIn, but today we are also focusing on LinkedIn.
And also one recommendation here, because we started with the fact that the email response rates have declined a lot, is that you combine different channels how you reach your target audience, not just email, but also LinkedIn. And the trick here, let's say, is that we are living in an age where we are overloaded with content in this digital world. So highly targeted approach to people with highly relevant content, from my experience, has proven to be the best way. And again, an integrated type of approach, not just one channel where you try to reach out the person, but trying to leverage different channels where they might be in different times in order to find the best time, and hopefully the need to which you can provide a solution.
Yes, and you said we're inundated with content. This is even more true now with AI. People are generating content like crazy using ChatGPT and those models. It's really hard to make out what has been AI generated from what has been human generated. I am convinced that the human inspect will remain the most interesting one on LinkedIn. So I was listening to a video today on SEO and how SEO is impacted by AI, and the person was saying that YouTube is the place to go, and providing videos where you are coming across as, again, as a human, not as an avatar,
Yeah.
is so valuable in terms of engagement and content, and this is what people want to see. So yes, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. AI can help you. It can be a thought partner. You can generate content, but you still you still need to be in the picture. And as you said, you need to think multi-channel, and so reaching out on LinkedIn is important, but you need to combine it with a different kind of campaign. In this example, I'm looking at a group. So groups on LinkedIn are super important. Groups, you've got a group for about everything you are looking for. Every industry as a group, every subsegment of an industry as a group. So as we look for leads, groups is the place to go. It's a place where you can post your content, but it's also a place where you can extract leads and contact. Once again, a tool like Photon Buster or Meet Alfred will help you do that. Using Photon Buster, you can reach out to group members and invite them to an event, for example. That's a very familiar use case where you are doing an event on a specific topic. You are looking for people to attend your event. Then you go to a group where you know that the people in this group will be interested by what you are going to talk about, and you invite them. You can automate this process via Phantom Buster. So groups is a good source of lead. It's also a place where you can just scrap the list of contact and then reach out to them later on using a tool like Apollo. Posting your link.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Stan, I wanted to give an idea. Also use your competitors as a source of leads, because they also host LinkedIn live events, and you can always go in there, check from time to time, look who is joining. Those are your prospects as well.
Absolutely. I didn't say that. I didn't dare to say that, but it is something we do. I think most people do that. Again, it's thank you. We've got Conrad who has to drop off, but thank you for an inspiring session. Thus, thank you so much for saying that. And guys, if you have any question, any comment, use the comment section. This event is your event, so let's make it as interactive as possible. LinkedIn events, exactly the one we are doing today, is an amazing source of lead. You've got two types of events. You've got events like the one Snezhi and I are doing, which is open for everyone. We are not asking you for your email address. It's more of a brand awareness event than a lead gen session. However, I think by now you start to understand that once you've got a list of people, even on an event like this one where we didn't ask for your email address, we can scrap the list and end up with about 80% of the email address. So if you receive an email from us, don't be too surprised. You can also opt for sort of a more gated event where you will ask people to fill up a form. You will certainly have less people attending, but chances are that the one attending are really interested in what you have to say. So you need to wait. What is your objective? Are you trying to be visible to more people than don't get your LinkedIn event? Or are you really focusing on a few person that will be interested enough to give you their email address? And then you need to get it behind a form. But as Snezhi said, look at your competitor events, attend them, and then as soon as you do that, you will have the list of everybody there. And if you use the right tool, the right technology, you can scrap the list. ChatGPT as a thought partner. We told you how important it was to produce content. produce content of quality, and to come across as a thought partner. So I'm not saying, let ChatGPT write this thought leadership content. It will probably be pretty bad. However, ChatGPT can be a thought partner and help you come up with interesting ideas. So if you looked at this prompt here, I'm telling ChatGPT to imagine that it is a procurement executive at a large motor manufacturing plant in the US, and that person is looking for supply chain planning solution. What blog topic might you be inclined to read? List 5 topics. And immediately ChatGPT is giving me 5 blog ideas that would probably be of interest to that procurement executive. So that's just an idea to use AI to generate topics. And what I would do then is to pick one of those topics to do more research using tools like Perplexity, which I'm going to talk about, or even Google, search for news article, combine them together and write, a fully researched blog post or article that I would put on LinkedIn in order to grow my network and to come across as someone who knows what it's talking about in regard to a specific topic. So those are just ideas to help you make use of today's technology to generate leads on LinkedIn.
And one also important point is that it's not just about lead generation, because as we saw, it's a bumpy road and it's a long road, but it requires a lot of nurturing. So LinkedIn and the content and the techniques that Stan is showing here actually could help you to really have good, sufficient, valuable content to share with your network and with your prospects in order to nurture them and to help them convert into the next stage of the buyer's journey.
Absolutely. Perplexity is a tool that I'm surprised not that many people have heard of or are using every day. I use it every day. It is an amazing tool when you do research, right? So you've got here the result of a query, which, unlike Google, is not a list of links, but an actual text that is an answer to my question. However, you've got the sources right on top, which are displayed, right? So it really combined the power of Google to just give you sources of websites that you can visit that would be of interest with the power of AI and large language model to provide you an answer, a textual answer to a question you have. So here I'm asking it to list sources of news about the following topic: implementing AI and machine learning in supply chain planning for motor manufacturer, which was one of the blog posts suggested on the previous screen by ChatGPT. So you see how using this tool, you can generate content. And as Snezhi said, that content will be extremely useful when you want to nurture your leads. Targeting the right audience. We kept on talking about growing your network and targeting the right audience, right? We started with a slide about the fact that successful salesperson and marketer are the ones who know their audience. Well, you can mix the tool that we've looked at today, tools like Phantom Buster, in order to automatically invite a list of people to join your network on LinkedIn. And to do that, I've done a search on LinkedIn. I extracted a list of people using Phantom Buster, and using Phantom Buster AI, I used the AI to write a prompt that has been customized based on the profile of every single person I want to connect with, right? So Now Phantom Buster is going to send an invite, and the text on the invitation will be customized for the person I want to connect with. Before I do that, I will look at the prompt generated, which usually will be within a Google Sheet. So I've got the opportunity to edit the prompt to make sure it's more personal, that the AI, didn't hallucinate or anything. And once I'm ready, I can send Phantom Buster to automatically send connection, and those connections are going to be extremely personalized for the list of people I'm targeting. Right? So this is, again, another little trick that you can use to grow your network, mixing technology, AI, and your own intelligence and your empathy as you reach out to those persons. So we are getting at the end of this session. I want to make sure that I answer your questions. So if you have any question, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I also want to leave you with an opportunity to scan this QR code. It will take you to our content page, and you can just ask for a free 30-minute strategy consulting with Snezhi and I. We will speak with you. It won't cost you a cent. We will talk about what you're trying to achieve. We'll give you tips and tricks on how to do that. And once again, the free consulting session is absolutely free. So take advantage of that. If you have any question, please feel free to put them in the chat. Any other comments, Snezhi?
Yeah, no, that was, I think it was great to have everybody on this discussion today. And I want to thank everybody for participating and for being with us, for the opportunity to share some of our experience and some of our knowledge and tips. We truly believe that we live in a world where we need to share information and to share our experience in order to improve together. And Stan is a really great in giving all these tips and tricks and staying on top of the AI trends and all the technology trends. I think there was a big news, Stan, that was shared yesterday by ChatGPT OpenAI, right? There was a new release.
It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, it's we live in an incredible world. This new release will bring, real-time voice interaction, the ability to listen and to view the world. If you haven't seen the demo, go to OpenAI YouTube channel. You will be blown away. So this is impacting our life as marketer. We see that we train our client on making the best use of AI. We have been having session about generating content with ChatGPT. I mean, this is both scary and full of opportunity, but I'm convinced that keeping a human touch in everything that we do and produce is essential. At the same time, I'm also convinced that we need to embrace the technology if we want to have a place in this world as consultant, as advisors of our client. So it's a difficult time where you need to combine both, but it is also a very exciting opportunity. So by all means, scan this QR code. We would love to speak with you. It will be free. It will last 30 minutes, and we'll discuss about the challenges and the opportunities that are there. We believe that we gave you a lot of tools today, and most of them are 100% free. So take advantage of that. And thank you, and see you next time on the Nytro Marketer.
Thank you so much. Thank you.